Hello and welcome back to another Warhammer 3 video here for today. We have big news. Siege reworks are coming in the future with another Proving Grounds. So just like before with the AI Proving Grounds, you'll be able to play it for some time, give your thoughts and feedback on it to the developers, and they'll be able to implement those changes that you'll like to see down the line or in their coming updates. So as you all know, since Total Warhammer 3 came out, sieges have been kind of a weak point for the game. It's something you auto-resolve over and kind of just regret ever accepting those battles. But with this, it's going to make them a lot more fun. They're removing what they call pocket ladders, or ass ladders as the community calls it. No more of those. Your walls will be walls now, and they're changing up the maps, so you'll actually have a little more strategy than just, climbing over the walls right away and trying to get to the points, which is a lot bigger than it was before, because before it's like, capture these points, but by the time you get to those points, the fight's already over. So they're changing all that very soon. You'll be able to play it on 24th of July to the 7th of August. So very excited about that. Not anything really else in this besides a few teases for the future. Like, this is not a one and done update for sieges. They plan to do more with them. But yeah, very excited. We're just going to start reading this just so you guys don't have to read it yourselves. And if you'd like to, I'll leave it down below as a link. So hi folks, the gates to the Proving Grounds are ready to be thrown open once again. The Siege Rework beta is on its way to Steam very soon for you to play and provide feedback on. Our goal here is in simple terms to make sieges more fun, and you are an invaluable part of making that happen through the Proving Grounds. We want to make sure we're making valuable and meaningful changes to the game, and your feedback is crucial for us achieving this. We won't allow any changes to the base game until we're totally happy with the response from you and the players. Super big, as you all know, you've probably heard in a few videos, Tides of Torment has been delayed, as they said in the other post before this, that they were not happy with how it looked and how it made the rest of the game kind of feel. So I feel like this is kind of big. They want feedback. They want this game to be the best game it can be, which is good, because in a few years past it kind of just seems this prints money, we have to keep supporting it, which was kind of sad because we all love this game. So with this much, them trying to do all this like updates to the game, free units, I think is big. As much as it's sad to have the Tides of Torment DLC delayed, this update is very exciting. And yeah, we're gonna continue this too. Let's get this knocked out of the park. This round of testing will last for 2 weeks from the 24th of July to the 7th of August. All the info you need to access across the beta, provide your feedback, will be available to a dedicated subforum once the beta is live. Finally, we're excited to announce that on Thursday, 17th July at 2:20 p.m. UTC, 3:30 p.m. BST, and 4:30 p.m. CEST, we'll be hosting a live stream on the Total War Twitch channel, where we'll be joined by Battle Team Lead, I'm gonna butcher his name, Michael Vazlev. I'm sorry, comment section, I butchered that, to explore the changes including this beta in more detail. With that said, I'll pass the mic over to one of the man I butchered his name himself, to talk about what he and his team is fashioning together in the Siege workshop. So this was the senior community manager, Steve Coleman, because the rest of this is the man who's holding the charge at the Siege Reworks. So this is very good. This is exciting that they're going to be doing more streams. I assume when the stream goes live, they'll tell us the dates at the end of it, what the next stream's going to be, and blah blah blah. So yeah, that's super exciting. We want the community to grow more. It's all we really want to see. So yeah, I like this a lot. I think all these posts I've been very happy with. I don't think there's been one post in 2025, besides, them delaying the DLC for my Great High Elves, that I was disappointed to hear, So yeah, now we're going to get into the Siege Reworks, the nitty gritty of this post. Hi everyone, I am the man with the complicated name, Battle Team Lead at CA Sophia, here to take you through what we've been working through on improved sieges in Total Warhammer 3. Thank you, and let's get into it. So right here is big. I brought this up many times. I could not see them fixing it without the removal, and I didn't think they would do it. But the Mad Lads did it. Removal of pocket ladders. What we have changed. The biggest change that we will be focusing on and the most in this update is the removal of the so-called pocket ladders, in which allow most infantry units to pull a siege out of nothing and climb the walls of a settlement. In Proving Ground is not going to be the case, and players, and the AI of course, will need to rely on different tactics to overcome the defense of a well-fortified settlement. Why we changed it. There are two main reasons why we introduced the fundamental change of how sieges work in the game. Gameplay and immersion. Total War has always strived to depict battles in quotation marks realistic way. And yes, in our world of dragons, giant flaming heads are counted as realistic. All projectiles are physically simulated, shields are providing protection only from the front. Types of hit reactions are based on relation between impact force, which is different from the damage of the attacker, and the mass of the defender. Even though it's not perfect, there are more aspects that can be improved where we believe that the ability to pull a huge ladder out of your blank, you already know what they say, ass ladders, nothing can be quite immersive breaking for players and take away from more strategic planning of the battle. In addition, this makes walls most obsolete and allows enemies to bypass them with ease while making the defending of the choke points inside the settlements the obvious choice. And this is not how we want sieges to feel. This was something I really didn't like when this game first came out, because I love sieges in Warhammer 2. I like this giant wall, and it gives you a chance to watch the battle. A lot of your fights, you gotta manage so many things, especially with spells, abilities, where your troops are gonna be. So you don't really get to enjoy your little tactics. You get to just watch them in replays, if you ever do. I have a million replays, and I haven't watched any of them, even though I love those battles. So with this, I'm hoping you get to watch the fun more. You know what I'm saying? Like, we play the game, but aesthetically, I want to see my troops fight other troops, you know? But yeah, we're going to continue now. How will these changes affect you in game? These changes will make you strategic decisions much more important, and you'll have to plan your approach to defense of a siege more carefully. And if you don't like them and prefer to get slaughtered faster, you can always turn the pocket ladders back on in the options menu, or just make sure you do that before you actually get into battle. Like I said before, it's not something they're just going to like completely remove from the game. I think it's very cool it'll be an option, because you already know probably a lot more casual players do not care. They just think, hey, I have a dragon, this is sick. So to them, they're like, I don't want to like worry about sieging or defending, I want my ladders back. So that is awesome. I'm glad that it's more options. The game is slowly looking like Stellaris in the customization settings, as you know. So now we're going to move on to number 2, siege equipment rebalance. What we change and why we changed it. The removal of the pocket ladders requires a ton of other changes to make sure the game functions without them. The siege equipment availability has been rebalanced, and players will now be able to field more siege towers, battering rams, and siege battles to compensate for the lack of ladders. Stats like the speed and durability of the equipment have also been changed to make them more effective at their intended functions. In addition, we've also changed the way siege attrition works and turned it into a linear progression, making it stronger and stronger, which each consecutive turn a settlement remains under siege. So this is pretty weird, not weird, but big, I mean, that I never thought that in my lifetime we'd get a siege equipment rebalance. Like, to me, even in Warhammer like 1 and 2, they weren't really that big of a problem. Like, if it was like, okay, they're gonna come from this way with this tower, we're just gonna have to put more troops there, basically. So I really wonder how much this will change how you see towers, instead of just being like, if they make it to the wall, they make it to the wall kind of deal, and more of like, hey, if we don't get rid of that, we have to like find it somewhere else to tunnel our troops at. So I'm very interested to see how this will go. So now we're gonna go again with this part. How will these changes affect you in game? Players will now need less manpower to construct siege equipment, which means it will be more readily available when sieging settlements. On the other hand, settlements are going to be a tad less susceptible to siege attrition in early stages of the sieges, while taking less overall turns to fully succumb to it. So I think this is big right here too. I did not bring this up, but attrition is going to be stronger with each turn. I don't know. I'm hoping that they make it initially pretty weak, because I have found, like, for the player and AI, if you just want to take a settlement, you just attrition them for 2 turns and half of their forces are gone. So I'm hoping it's like more of like a 5-turn thing, where like first turn you only lose like 1%, and the next turn is 5%, and you know, like intervals of 5, 10, as you know. And then I can see it getting really strong. But we'll just have to see. And this too, making them basically everything a lot more sturdier, but making it where you only probably need like 1 unit per equipment. So like, I know some sieges will, like, you'll need 2 if you need to build that many. So yeah, I'm very curious about this as well. And this is also what I'm excited about, because I'm a big defense guy. So we're at number 3, defense adjustments. What we've changed, we've adjusted the stats of defense towers and gates. Towers will now be slightly deadlier, but have much shorter range, while gates will be more durable when it comes to attacks from regular and some monstrous infantry, but less so against battering rams. So what this means is, yeah, your ass ladders are gone and the walls are going to be tougher, but it's going to make you bank on actually using the equipment that you can build, instead of like, oh, that's a cool thing I can do. Because I can tell you this now, out of my over 1,000 hours, I have never once built a battle ram or battering ram, I mean. Not once. It's not something I do. I like the towers. They're kind of cool. Because you want to get on the walls. Why fight on the ground, you know? But yeah, I hope that changes. Maybe next live stream, that's all I'll do, you know? Change it up a little. Now we're going to continue with the why we changed it. Towers currently feel quite annoying for the attacker, and when they start shooting immediately after deployment, leaving no room for maneuvers or executing strategic attack plans, while the gates feel like they can easily be breached by mundane infantry, making the specialized equipment like battering rams obsolete. How will these changes affect you in game? These changes will allow you to maneuver outside of a settlement you're attacking without being harassed, or open to an opportunity for you to batter with artillery more easily, while also making the defender less helpless against direct fast infantry attacks. That's big because, as you know, you'll do siege, and you'll have like 3 to 4 walls, like not even just like 2, in like in Warhammer 2, ironically enough. So you have all this land to cover. And you only have so many units that can like block who, and it's like chess. You can only block so many, and they can have like some cheap units in the back that you don't even notice, and now half your gates are open, and there's nothing you can do about it. So this is exciting. All this whole update, I'm very excited because you'll be able to sit behind your wall, and it will be a wall. It's not like, okay, they're gonna climb over this wall. Let's put everyone in the middle so they don't capture my points, and I automatically lose the game. Can't wait. I'm very excited. So now we're on to number 4, battle AI improvements. What have we changed? You cannot just remove pocket ladders without teaching the battle AI how to play without them. So for these proving grounds, we've had fixed over 50 issues related to how battle AI plays or reacts to certain situations, both on the attacking and defending sides and sieges. As some of those are not completely related to the pocket ladders, these changes will be present even if pocket ladders are turned on from the options menu. So I think this is big too. This is I think like a side effect of them getting rid of ladders and changing the AI. But the AI are not that smart still. So they're like, okay, now that they don't have ladders, we actually have to make them like think a little more about what they're gonna do. So I think like even if you didn't care about the ladders before, and I think even if you turn them on, like I said, there will still be changes. So I'm kind of excited. I'm really curious because I was already hyped about the campaign AI. The siege AI, that could be really fun. Now we're going to move on to this, why we changed it. Battle AI has always been tricky to get right, but this is most obvious in siege battles when we're all really trying to make it play better and react to players' actions in a more realistic way. We are not saying that we have fixed the battle AI. I'm glad they said this in quotation marks, because if this was like their thing of like, oh yeah, it's fixed, we're never going to touch it again, that'd be a little sad. We're continuing, but hopefully with these improvements, it'll behave a lot more convincingly and offer more interesting challenge. How will these changes affect you in game? These changes will offer less weird behavior from battle AI during sieges and allow you to be able to play the game without the use of pocket ladders. You know, real quick, you know for a fact they want to say ass ladders so bad because that's what everybody else says, but they're forcing themselves to say pocket ladders. You already know. Now, this is also what I talked about earlier. They're improving the siege maps. So yeah, number 5, siege map improvements. What we change. With this update, we're also starting the initiative of reworking old sieges maps to make them play and feel better. For now, we've done only 3. Again, I wish they would do more, but they said for now. And I read this earlier and I was very hyped. So the 3 is 1 for Skaven, 1 for Empire, 1 for Orcs. I think the Skaven is massive. Every Skaven settlement is the same. Even Hell's Pit, like, it's so sad. And I attack the same 2 towers every time. Like, it's very tedious. And if I didn't need to not auto-resolve the fights, I would. But they also bring that up later as well. I'm glad, yeah, we'll talk about that when they bring it up. But auto-resolve will also be changing. So yeah, we'll continue why we changed it. Siege maps can often feel a little too cramped with little space to maneuver on both inside and outside settlements. With our rework, we're looking to open these up maps maps a bit, allowing more approaches to the victory points as well as wider spaces for larger forces to engage one another. So, like I said, they're gonna be making the maps a little bit bigger. They're gonna be making everything a little sturdier. It just seems like they're fixing this up very well. And now we're on the last point. 6, what's cooking? Everything we've listed here are the first steps to get us sieges where we want them to be, and we're looking at this as the long-lasting effort to improve the game. In the future, we wish to have a wish list of possible options to explore, such as introducing ladders as a new constructible siege equipment, rebalancing the way garrisons work and what units are available for all of them, for all the factions, changing the way the building towers or barricades work, as well as more battle AI and pathfinding upgrades. Last but not least, we understand that sometimes a lot of us want to keep painting the campaign map in our chosen color and not waste the time with sieges or battle in general, so we already have work at polishing that out, with heavy use of hammer and axes. That auto-resolver and making it function properly. So there's kind of a lot in this like little paragraph they put here. So real quick, I want to bring this up before I forget. With heavy use of hammer and axes. I don't know if that means like they're working real hard and like it's kind of like a Herculean task to do this, because it's been 3 years since this game came out and there hasn't been many changes. Like for a fact, I know this. They removed a lot of the maps that were like siege maps. Now they're just like open fields. I think they made it to only tier 3 settlements. We'll have like a settlement battle now. I had a mod that removed those, so when my mod didn't work, I thought it was still working. So I think those previous fixes were not really fixes and more just pushing stuff under the bed type of maneuver. So that's gonna be big, but that wasn't even my point. I just wanted a whole other thing. But with heavy use of hammers and axes, my other point of what this could mean is maybe we're getting Bugman for the dwarves, because he's brought up all the time in each game, and he's surprisingly not in the game, and I see a lot of people begging for him. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is a hint for, hey, we weren't able to give you the DLC in time, but we were working on this, and here you go as like a freebie. But like I said, the first part of it could just be they're working very hard, and it's not an easy task. As they've said before, nothing's easy in video games, but as you know, everything can be a hint. And the auto-resolver part of it, because I know it's still one sentence, but the auto-resolver I think is hype, because auto-resolve is the button that everyone uses 100 million times just to get through the game. Because I feel like most players have to force themselves to do fights just to enjoy them, because they would rather be doing an auto battle. It's like they said before, they like want to paint the map, they want to get this done and this done, and the game takes, you cannot complete a campaign in one day. You can do objectives for a campaign, but like even 8-hour streams I do, it's still not enough. So I think this is very big. And also the new constructible siege equipment, I don't really know, besides like they said doing ladders as like a new constructible siege equipment, I don't think there'd be like any new ones, just like changes I would say. What I would say would be some new stuff, like them changing the way building of towers or barricades work, as well as the battle area pathfinding upgrades. My thing is you can keep the towers and barricades, but let me be able to recruit units with my points. Like they should be like, bottom of the barrel, of course. Like if I'm playing orcs and goblins, just give me like the tier 1 goblins and spears. But to me, I'd rather take more units over more towers. So I think that'd be big, because you feel outnumbered half the time, and usually in real life sieges you need like it's a 2 to 3 odds. No, 1 to 3. Like you need double the forces as the opposing force, because it's tough. Sieges are not supposed to be easy. That's why they're behind a giant wall. But yeah, I don't think there was anything else I was really thinking about. But yeah, this too, long-lasting effort to improve the game. So that also, hopefully, they talked about some big DLC. Hopefully, the more they talk about these updates, it's more just like, yep, here's another 10 years of Warhammer. Let's just keep this train going until it dies, or we're all really old. Maybe, maybe not. You never know. That's my hopes as a big avid fan of this game. I'm also, like I said, my most hype is that they're changing the maps. Like there's not much strategy. It's kind of just get over the walls. Because before, when they released this game, it was like, okay guys, before it was like get over the walls, fight the enemy, and that's it. That's how we do it. But now you gotta capture all these objectives, and you can build towers, and oh, if you're not strong enough, you can just beeline towards the middle of their capital and you can just win. I don't like that. I'm not a fan of it. I am more of like to the last man. Like every unit should be fighting off, because in Warhammer 2 I can remember every fun siege I had, and it was mainly against vampires because they don't have guns. But having just a bunch of units come over the wall, and like you literally just messing with like 5, and there's like a 10 or 20 stack you're fighting, is just really fun. I hope that those fights will return in Warhammer 3. I hope many things, like the Order Tide from Warhammer 2 also comes back. So I like to see that there's many of these changes that are coming back that will basically give new life into the game without needing DLC. Because it's sad to say, but it definitely seems like to keep this game, up and down, it needs those pockets of content. But the game itself gives you so much content at this point. So right now it's just making it worthwhile. So, but like this here, fixing the battle AI for certain situations, both attack and defending. And they also bring it up down here as well somewhere. I remember reading. Yeah, as well as more battle AI and pathfinding upgrades. I don't know what it means by pathfinding upgrades. I just assume they're upgrading the AI, but I don't think that would mean like, you yourself are going to be able to put points and upgrade the AI. I think they're just using the word upgrades. But hopefully that, like, to me, I'm gonna beg this now. If somehow CA found my little channel and listens to me, can we make it to where the AI will just charge at you if they have cavalry, like if they have horses? That is something in real life sieges that happens. There's fighting on the front in the front of the walls, and I feel like that would make things more interesting. Because imagine you're trying to push up your artillery and you already took care of their towers, but now out of their gates a bunch of horses come out and they're just mowing you down. But half your units are on the wall. I don't know. To me, it's like give you more choices, more predicaments, basically, instead of just okay, we're gonna brute force our way through one wall. But yeah, I'm super excited for all the changes. Keep on the lookout because, like I said, we're gonna have a lot more updates coming very soon. Even though everything's delayed, they definitely have a lot in the works. It's gonna be starting the 24th of July to the 7th of August. I'll do a video because they don't show it here, but they did do it in AI where how to access it. But if you don't know and you just want to know right now, if you go to your properties on Steam and you go through like some of the settings, I'm gonna make a video, but if you go through some of your settings, you'll be able to click on Proving Grounds 1 or Proving Grounds 2. But yeah, we're gonna do that later, so when it comes out, of course, so everyone can join themselves and give feedback. Even like right now, yeah, there's nothing like big going on in the game, but like send them a thing. Send them like, hey, go through their, like, the bug reports are big, like anything. The forums, they do read them a lot. Hence, like here, they all have an account. You can always say something. But yeah, I'm very excited for all this. Thank you for listening to me rant about sieges for however long this video is going to be, 10-20 minutes. But yeah, thank you for always watching. Really appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the future.